Now the package with the bearings for my gearbox have finally arrived. I ordered 2 times this bearing, that's this one in here, then the big one, that's this bearing, and 2 needle bearings, one for the shift drum, the bearing that goes in here, and 2 times this needle bearing, that's the bearing for the shift shaft. With these bearings I can make the exact measurements between the individual bearings and the needle bearings and the shaft for the gearbox where the shift claws belong. This is the first step. It's a lot of work to measure, and also the measurement has to be very precisely. Then I can make a 3D model. Plan is to make also a plate like this in 3D software and then print it with my 3D printer and then put it on here, and then I can check if everything is on the right place and try to shift every gear and look if the gearbox runs smoothly. And the next step is to make this exact pattern on here, this surface. Then I can print a complete housing just for the gearbox with the backplate and the complete housing, also including the shift shaft, and then I can move on. I don't know exactly how long this is going to take, but this is one of the hardest tasks of building this engine. But this is the way to go. I can also check how exactly this gearbox is oriented in the new engine case that I want to make. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna start this, but I think I will figure it out very soon, and then once I have all the measurements I show you the backplate. Now 2 hours later I have all the measurements I need to make the plate to see if my measurements are correct. Now I'm going to make a 3D model of these 2 bearings and then print it out and then see how it functions. And in the next step I add those 2 shafts where the shift claws belong. Determining the individual length and the distance between the bearings worked out pretty good. I have a few measuring tools to determine distances, and when you take your time it worked out pretty well. Let's see how accurate I was measuring. Now a few days have passed since I measure everything, and I also made a bunch of prototypes. But my measurements are not 100% precise. When you take a look, those 2 bearings, the distance is nearly perfect, but the position of the bearing for the shift drum is not 100% perfect. When you take a look, it's not perfectly centered. I can make it centered by pressing, by adding a little bit of force, then it would be 100% perfect. But this creates a little bit of stress in here, and not every shaft is parallel to each other. I want this to be as precise as possible. My tolerances are 0.01 millimeters, so 1/100 of a millimeter. In order to achieve the perfect distance between the bearings, I have also made a second drawing. I've also measured everything a second time, just with the basic measuring tools. It is working, but not as precise as I want it to be. With this, my tolerances are about 0.1 millimeters, and this is definitely too much. Next problem is I also need to know these 2 positions where the shafts for the gear claws belong, and also this pattern around here where the whole gearbox assembly is bolted onto. Also I've printed 6 prototypes. It does not get more precise than that. So I was struggling to find a new way to figure out the measurements and the distances between the center point of the individual shafts. I asked my colleague with a CNC machine if he is with the machine able to figure out the exact spacing, and he actually did. He also said this was about 20 minutes of work, and I'm so glad this works out so well. I show you. He also said this was not as big of a deal as I thought it would be. He said to me I should make a drawing of every position I want to know, and then he just put the transmission base plate into the machine. He clamped it down on this machine surface and then checked if it's perfectly straight, everything still. Then he just made a 0.0, which is this bearing, as you can see here. Then he just attached a measuring pin on the spindle arm. Then he determined this is 0.0, and he drove with the machine to every point. He determined the exact middle point of every hole and stud, Then he wrote all the coordinates on the drawing. Actually, distance between the center holes is 69.03 millimeters, and I have determined in my first drawing it was 69 millimeter, and at my second drawing it was 69.05 millimeter. So I just was about 0.03 millimeters off, so 300ths of a millimeter, which isn't actually that bad, I have to say. But now with the perfect coordinates of every bolt and stud to make another prototype, but with the now correct coordinates of every bearing and also for the screw holes. This is now the 7th prototype. I've just finished 3D printing it. I've already installed the 2 bearings and the shaft for the shift claw. It fits perfectly well, also with this bearing, but the reason it's not installed is that the shaft on the outside is a little bit smaller than on the inside, because here that's a press fit and that's just put on. But I've already checked it and the distance between those two are also the right one. At the end of those shafts are springs, and when you look closely, when I apply a little pressure, the springs pushes the plate back up, which is very good because in here there are very less friction, and this is a precise fit. The difference in diameter between the inner section of the bearing and the input shaft of the transmission is about 0.01 millimeter. So 100th of a millimeter play between those two, and the springs are able to push this back up because it just fits so perfectly. I'm really thankful that this turns out till now very nicely. The next step is I've also had the whole coordinates for this surface with all the holes and the alignment shafts. The next step is build a complete housing for it, so I can also check if my coordinates of the holes and the positioning studs are correct. It's close to 12 o'clock in the night, and I'm happy that this turns out so well after those prototypes. Also, that's the broken crankshaft of my triple build. I don't know when I upload this video, but this bike is sitting here and waiting for a new crankshaft. The ZABEL mini bike is currently sitting in here. I've moved the blue board tracker and put this here in because I wanted to have in here and it doesn't take up as much space as the board tracker. I have already the right crank pins made out of a very special material. More on that in my video about this. And in 2 weeks I think the engine is back together at the 3rd or 4th time. Hopefully the last time, and the bike is now with all the upgrades I've made. I hope the bike is now finally finished engineered. At the time when I upload this video, I think I have already a brand new crankshaft and the bike is back together and running. Now I've also finished the surface where the transmission is flanged on to the engine. I had to precisely make this pattern, and also the holes and the guiding pins have to be very accurate. This was the first prototype. As you see, I have to cut out this part with a scissor to fit it properly. Then this was the second. As you see here, it's stuck on the screw. And then I had 2 other ones. This was the 4th design. It was very close, but have not enough room between the surface and the bolt in here. And then this was the final design. As you see, it fits on perfectly. Also the guiding pins and also the holes. When you take a look, it is very precisely measured. I have as less clearance as possible, but still have a little bit, but as less as possible. Here I had to follow the diameter of the biggest gear of the gearbox. Also Aprilia had to do this here. I'm very happy how this turns out. Everything fits very nicely, and also the holes are aligned very well, and also the guiding pins. And now with all the measurements from the surface, the whole pins and everything, and also for the back plate, And with all those informations I was able to make this part. This is the casing where the gearbox is going to mount in. This helps me for mock-up reasons. I can just simply put the gearbox in here, and I'm going to do this now. And so I can also see if everything is still working perfectly, and I am also want to check if all the gears are engaging and shifting perfectly and well. This part was actually the biggest part I've 3D printed so far. I think this was 600 grams of material, and it took nearly 14 hours to print. Here is a little time lapse how my printer make this. Now I'm going to assemble the gearbox and the shift claws and everything, and then I'm going to shift through all of the gears and see if it's still working. Now as you see, it is all finally assembled. Now let's see if every gear is shifting correctly. Neutral. First gear. Second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. This fifth gear. And now sixth gear. Now, as you saw, shifting all the gears is possible and nothing is wrong. It functions as it's supposed to be. The next thing is to find a location for the shift shaft, where the shifter belongs. And also I'm going to mount the clutch and see how wide this is gonna be. And now I can also see how to package it the best way with the both cylinders and the rest that's still missing. Now you get an idea how it's supposed to look when it's finished. I have to find the perfect position for the both crankshafts and the E-start, and the rest that is also still missing. It's also perfect for mock-up, where I can exactly locate things I want it to be. It's also great to see if the gearbox is supposed to sit in this direction or in this direction or in this direction. Now I can freely move all the parts where it needs to be and also where it works the best. And what is also very crazy is I developed all of this in just a week, which is very crazy. Also for future projects I want to have an external gearbox like you see in the old motorcycles. You see at the front of the motorcycle is the engine, and at the rear with a belt drive is the transmission. And this is also a style I want to build. There are very less proper gearboxes to use. There is one gearbox, that's the Norton gearbox, but just modernized. It's the AMC, I think, but it cost about 5k, and it's just holding up about 100 horsepower with a dry clutch. And this is a 1100cc super sport gearbox, which is reliable, and also for future projects this is very nice because you just attach a clutch. And also my drive shaft I still have to develop, which is just a shaft with this gear pattern, and on this shaft there goes the primary gear. This is then connected to the clutch, of course. My plan is to have also a shaft like this, not a crankshaft, just a very sturdy shaft like this. Starts around here, go all the way through, and at the end of the shaft is a pulley attached, and also a pulley is on the gearbox for the engine just get rid of the primary gear, and instead of the primary gear I want to install a pulley and then connect the gearbox with my drive shaft to the individual cylinders, which is a really crazy idea, and I've never seen this before. With my technical understanding, I think that's a very nice way to do it. At first, to get rid of the gears, and also when you take a look, every new car has a belt to drive the alternator and the IC machine and stuff like this. Take a look at the older cars and engines like a 2JZ or RB26 or a SR20 or a 4G63. All of those engines have one similarity. Every engine have a timing belt and another timing chain, which is very nice because you can easily change them very quickly, and it is also very precise. Also, it looks very, very cool. As example, when you take a look at a Harley Davidson belt drive primary, it just looks amazing. My idea is to have the same belt drive, but not from a separate engine to a separate transmission. I have all in one in a huge billet engine case, and then connect the individual cylinders and the crankshaft with a belt drive and additional shaft, which is basically a crankshaft but without the cranks and everything. So it is just a shaft with this pattern. This is the plan with my engine, and also on the drive shaft I want to attach the electric start, because I don't want to break my leg, of course. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. In the next part I gonna move on and see where every part is supposed to be, and then start with the crankcase. So stay tuned and see you next time.